Taking no shorts. Coming right up.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.
Welcome, and how they say, bienvenue. Welcome again. Hello. Welcome to Taking No Shorts podcast, episode 138. Why am I keeping numbers for you guys? It doesn't matter. I'm just glad that you're here. Let's go ahead and get the particulars out of the way. You're only going to see me tonight. This is a live stream exclusively at Taking No Shorts Pod at the following streaming channels. That's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And then every Friday around this time, you can catch that live stream at those channels. And then anywhere where you get your favorite podcasts. I got your attention quickly. You're here at the on time part of the podcast. Go ahead and give that like on underneath the content. I would greatly appreciate that. Go to YouTube and hit that subscribe or like any of my channels on social media. Follow me at Jay Grizzo. That's at the bottom, Chiron, and at Taking No Shorts Pod. What will you be expecting tonight? Well, I just want to inform you guys that it could go either way with your boy tonight, with your guy, your man, Jay Grizzo. It could be it could be like a 45-minute quick joint, or it could be a 2-hour joint. It all depends on if I can find out how to get rid of that glaze on this glass right here. No, I'm joking. It's a lot, man. This might be episode 138, might be the most personal, the most revealing podcast about me as the host, being I'm the only one here tonight. And the reason why is no guest. I'll get into that as well. I mean, some of it is not for the listener or for the viewer. You're not going to be concerned with. You could give two kumquats about producing a podcast. You just want, the audience just wants to see what's in front of their screen for that 3 seconds that the social media companies give you credit for as I want to say view. Yeah, it's a view. I'm working for views. I'm not even, it's not working. I am dressed like this on a Friday night for views. Yeah, so if you leave a comment, I will get it out on the podcast. I want to go ahead and give a shout out real quick. Jeremy ZJ, I hope I'm getting that correctly. ZJ, he went on ahead and said done. So thank you so much for that, sir. I'll give you a star on that. And share with your friends, man. Let them know what you want to talk about. Let me know what you want to talk about in the comments tonight. I got my takes that I'm going to give. All I ask for folks is be respectful to us or to me, and I will be respectful to you. Second, take no shorts, meaning don't leave nothing off on the bone. If you want to say something to get it off your mind, there's a way you can say it and express it, and you'll give your opinion without stepping on others. It's a very fine line. I know it's a high standard for some, but it'll come to you. Just be a good human being is what I say. So yeah, man. Personal podcast tonight because April has been a doozy. For me. First, it's been. Let me first give a round of applause to some of the guests in April. The numbers from that have been tremendous. And that's only thanks to the comedian guests that I had in April. So I'll go ahead and run them down. That would be Patrick Logan. Hold on, I'm giving exactly.
Oh shit!
No, Pat, I ain't won't give you the oh shit. See? What happened to my Iron Sheik, man? There we go.
Exactly.
Thank you. To Patrick Logan, James Lawson, Tangi. I'm not even gonna say Tangi. So funny. What's my homeboy name? The Razzle Dazzle. Goddamn, late at H. Those are some of the people that have come through in the month of April and helped the podcast grow. And for that, I say aligato. Let's go ahead and get to a number one stunner up in this joint tonight, y'all. Saying what's up, fellow Taurus. It's Taurus season, Taya.
Exactly.
You know we gonna do it big for the next 28, 30 days, however it is. You know, I know them April Tauruses say that they got it on lock, but we share the same birthday, May 16th, and we're gonna celebrate like it's 1999 and then some in 2026. So thank you so much, Taya, for always being a fan of whatever platform you've seen me on over the years. I mean, dedicated to much. I think we sent, when I was on Legacy Internet Radio, I think we sent a shirt out to Vegas. I don't know if that was, if you got it. If not, I'll get a Taking No Short shirt and I'll get it to you. You're welcome, man. So much. Appreciate it, man. Much love. So April has been a good month in regards to the podcast. And I know, like I said, some of this stuff the audience really doesn't give two kumquats. You did. Thank you. I appreciate it. Taya, glad you got it. And I'll work on a Taking No Shorts t-shirt. Of course, you'll get at least a dozen on the house. You did.
Exactly.
But then at the same time, the way life works, the way I'm at my Gen X years, like you can have good moments, and as soon as, for instance, professionally, it's just coming together, you have just stuff that just happens, and it's just the opposite end of the spectrum, and it could take you on this type of roller coaster, and that's what I've been on, man. If you care about your guy, I just wanted to share that with the audience, and because I'll tell you this, one of my homeboys, shout out to Marcus J, he was just like, you've been different. I noticed the way you handle your interviews and stuff, and I'm like, well, first of all, I put down the hard yak, I put down the Douce and all that. So I just got my Chardonnay tonight, and it ain't, not too much. But then second, it's like I'm getting used to. I'm putting, the training wheels have been off, but I'm feeling more comfortable in my skin, and that's a hard thing for me. You could care less, but a lot of it's hard for camera facing people, comics, actors, actresses. They're people too. They talented. They got creative talents. We got creative talent. Sometimes when I want to, I could be the funniest man in the world. But then sometimes we have that, and I saw the post. I don't know if the algo is getting to me, because I saw this post right before I went on the live, and it was one of these social medias that I follow, which is related to comedian content. And they said, studies show psychologically comedians are some of the saddest people in the world.
Exactly.
And they referred to Robin Williams. He unalived himself, And Robin Williams, for me as a Gen Xer, was, a great comedic actor, a great comedian, had all that energy. It was just a lovable character on screen, but off screen, that man had a life. He had children, he had a wife, and he had demons. Demons is another word for abuse of substance abuse. That's a pro wrestling term, because pro wrestlers, that's what they say. You got your demons. and they abuse substances as well. I'm not particularly pulling out people professions, but my train of thought is on it's the highs that come along in life, and the just as quick as you think you're ascending. I don't know. I'm looking over here because that's the monitor, but I need to be looking at y'all. Just as soon as you think you doing this and you climbing like the yodel on Price is Right. I can't even do it.
Exactly.
So I tried to hear myself do the yodel off the Price is Right game and damn near choked. I might finish this glass for the end of the pod tonight. But as high as you go, sometimes it happens. And not to get into much, but we had in my family, we had a tragedy happen to one of our neighbors, very close to our kids. And when that news broke to us, I immediately went into shock. You can't believe it. And then I immediately went to the neighbors that we know. And then I went to my kids and my wife because we all grew up together. We all became families. Well, not became, but we were families together on the same block. And everybody in that, they were getting along in life. And for something like that to happen, this tragedy to happen, I can only imagine. And it took me back to feelings of when I lost my mom, my grandmother, my cousin-in-law, and my uncle. Like when I say like bap, 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 like that, like all consecutively pretty soon. And it made me feel for especially brothers. I'm a man,
Exactly.
that lose homeboys to the game, to the streets, and some of the stuff that they have to mentally, emotionally go through, and still, keep that, so much. What is that called? It's not a buzzword. It's trauma, street trauma. It's ghetto. It's trauma, man. And the brain doesn't react too kindly to that. People need help. If you ain't got the resources to help, you ain't got the the family backbone, the emotional armor, the let me go ahead and put God at the head of that. First and foremost, if you don't have a strong connection to something higher, let me say that as the internet, but I ain't got no shame to claim, my Savior, Jesus Christ. And for folks who may not have that, it could be difficult. If you strong, I know, trust me, I done did it from the A to the Z.
Exactly.
And still might fuck around and do it from the A to the Z. Yeah, sometimes we backslide. And then the way the universe works is sometimes when you backsliding or something could happen to snap you right back into some kind of spiritual awakening. Let's give a shout out to the first to my son's mom. I can't even my first co-parent. Shout out to you, Kay. Hey, you say hey everybody. Give you a star as well, so you can get in this algorithm with everybody else. The universe has a way of, God has a way of revealing stuff to you, and you can't, even if you're a non-believer, there is no time, there is no you have no choice over the matter, is what I'm saying. You don't know when you're going to get tested. You don't know when that test is going to show up. It's not like when we were in school, you had a standardized test, you prep for it, the teachers will teaching the lesson to it. And then all of a sudden they say, we're going to have the test on this day. So if you give a F, you will be ready. If you give a F, forget the folks who don't, you know, but the way I believe it works is God don't need your time. He don't. Because that's going Mr. Miyagi's way, the way he wants it to Mr. Miyagi it. And it ain't going to be no preparations for you. And the reason I say that is, again, April, a good month for your guy, Taking No Shorts podcast host, me, Jay Grizzy. And it's just like that, boom, tragedy strikes. I got to be there for my family, for my friends, my neighbors, you know. And then right after that, Easter Sunday, I get a call. One of my, and y'all could go back, I think it's episode 136, my homeboy Bab. You know, God called him home. So 2 days after my neighbor's funeral, I go to my homeboy's funeral. And when I tell you, I was, I don't even know how to describe how emotional I was. You know, it's like, you know, sometimes when something like that happens, where you lose a lot of people that's close to you really soon, you're stuck in some type of trauma cycle. Like you in a, I've never had a concussion, but, and there's nothing, you know, I'm not trying to say what it felt like, but I can only imagine, like, when your brain freezes, everything is suspended in motion, but you're still going through regular everyday life. But your brain is like stuck in some type of, it's like stuck in like quicksand, you know, or some glue. Like it just, I don't know what that's called. I need to ask my therapist. What is that called? You know, numbness. Yeah, you numb. Thanks, Kay. But well, a part of it. Let me pull your comment up here. A part of it is numbness, but I was feeling. It was just, the feeling was like I wanted to get on with it. You know, for me, I wanted to get on with it so I didn't have to feel. I'm a busybody, so it's like, when, you know, when can I book the next guest, or what do I have to do at the, you know, something I could do around the house or something, so I don't have to. And then all of a sudden I ended up like Florida Evans in the kitchen and throwing shit like, damn.
Exactly.
But that's how life happens if you get to a Gen X age like me. And I kicked out of it, thank God, you know, because what else can you do? You know, here's what the month of April has taught me. My faith is stronger than I thought it was. My faith was stronger than I thought it was. Not until I leaned into, and I hate to leave that dangling there because it's hitting me, like, not until I leaned into my faith was I starting to get my gears going. Because once you feel like you've gotten taken up, to everything is almost it feels like it's taken away. It's really not, but it feels like it. You know, that's when God comes into my spirit and I start, I can't, the only way I can explain it is I get happy. And it might sound crazy to some people, but how can you get happy when you emotionally a roller coaster, a basket case, so to speak. I leaned into my faith, man, because that's all I got. That's all I got. And when I started doing that internally, not outwardly. Yeah, I talked to a couple of my friends and people that only two people, my wife and then another person I saw, strangely enough, your brother, Kay. See, he's still working on me. But yeah, like when you're leaning into your faith, I'm just going to speak from the heart tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Taking No Shorts podcast, episode 138. I'm your host, Jay Grizzly Green, aka Mr. Leave No Meat on the Bone. Give me a like, share, subscribe. I appreciate all of it. It's going to be a very personal episode tonight of me just talking about what has been going on with me. I got some topics I'm going to talk about a little bit later, especially these young folk, because they in this thing called gooning. Don't look it up. You can get scared. It's a little concerning, all right? But gooning, like Alice the Goon. God, I'm dating myself with the references, but faith. I mean, what would you do if, like, all right, so here's the rabbit hole tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So there's this movie, Steven Spielberg. Is it Spielberg or Spielberg? I'm going to say Spielberg. Well-known Hollywood director, producer, big time, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, all that. Got a movie coming out called Disclosure Day.
Exactly.
And in the movie Disclosure Day, the premise or the plot, without ruining the whole movie, is because the previews is out now. I encourage you to go. I'm not plugging it unless they want to help Taking No Shorts grow. But I saw the preview. What do you call it? The trailer. I saw the trailer, and the trailer starts out where the narrator says, "What if I told you we ain't the only ones?" Then they go and cut some scenes together. But what if, and then they was like, what if people were hiding the secrets of not knowing we're not the only, when I say we're not the only one, we're not the only living things in the universe. The universe that we know anyway. And they may have there might be they're saying that there are people, there are governments that are hiding that and have been hiding that because they can't take the panic. In essence, they don't trust us. You dig? Because they know something that we don't, but they know it. So they can trust them, but they can't trust us. Or what is it? 2.3 billion? I don't know how many billion people. But same thing with the AI. Like they say if they keep developing it, it could do something to harm humankind and it'll get rid of everybody. And they can't trust us for that. And here's what I say, that I don't give a damn. I really don't, because my faith is not in no computer. My faith is not in if there's something alien life other than what looks like me out here, because I've been hearing this a lot lately. People been telling me this, and I'm going to just quote my homeboy Bear when they say, when people was telling him or worried about him, he said, "I ain't worried, God got me," quote unquote. God got me. Because we live in a world where if you cut on your phone, you watch television, you watch the news, this shit could be, you watch the current president of the United States for more than a minute or two. If you don't have no faith, if you quick to panic, I would panicking. Let alone if you got some type of education and care about what's happening in the world. After the 2024 election, when Kamala, so-called Hey man, tell him Tay. Hey man, Tay said that's right. God got me. No matter what they say, what they gonna do, or whatever. It could, I ain't rushing to nobody to no end, but I ain't worried. I ain't living my life in fear. So what can you do when they bombarding you? When I say they, I don't pronouns, pal.
Exactly.
When the media, anything, society, it's just they scare, they trying to scare people into stuff. People's wickedness everywhere. It is total, it is total wickedness everywhere. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna sit here on this platform and tell you that it's a lot of evil out there. A lot of it. And if you consume a lot of that, you're only human. You're bound to be like, oh God, it's a whole bunch of evil out here. That's what I think this does. This, or at least my algorithm. I don't know about y'all. I don't know if y'all could reprogram y'all shit stuff. I'm sorry, I curse. I try not to. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all algorithm allows you to reprogram a lot of positivity on your feed. I've tried it. And I tried it. And the positivity lasts for about 3 hours. Next thing I know, bam. Some evil-ish, some sucker-ish is on my device, my television. Because that's what that is. That's just a smaller television. That you can have access to 24/7. Hence why you see me. Hopefully you're seeing me on whatever device you're seeing me on. You see me. But I'm just saying, it's just, to us as Gen Xers, that's just a television. To the kids, it's a device that, to the young generation, a Gen Z, it's a device that gets you a whole bunch of stuff. Give you access to a whole bunch of stuff that we, at my age, my peer group, we underestimate how much access our kids had than we did. I would be lucky if my mom went to I used to do this. My mom used to go to the laundromat, and the laundromat was inside of a convenience store. And the convenience store would have a magazine stand. There it had Playboy, Penthouse, Cherry, I forget, Blacktail. Blacktail, it might not have been Blacktail. It might have been, I don't know what it was called back then. And it wasn't covered up. So when I'm saying she going to the laundromat, I'd be like, I want to go. I want to help fold some clothes. 10, 11-year-old me will play the video game and go in the magazine section, look like I'm looking at a magazine, right on wrestling magazine or something. But I'm steadily looking over at the gentleman stuff. Yeah. Ted got a comment say these teams fighting, having takeovers got me very concerned. Yeah. Saying it happens. If it's happening out west, Ted, it's happening. I mean, I know for a fact it's happening here back in the DMV. One of the things that happened here, they had this takeover at a suburban mall. So I'm going to imagine, say it's something out in Henderson, right? And a gang of kids went somewhere out in Pahrump or Henderson or somewhere, and they took over. The white folk called the police on them. They won't do nothing but just hanging out. But as soon as the police showed up, it created that tension, and then the news got a hold of it. It wasn't nothing. It was just a whole bunch of teenagers at a mall that they usually wouldn't be at. So I can understand. It's concerning. I mean, it's been a string of unalive actions that have been taking place here in the RVA, you know, folks, them hammers is ringing out there. Like people got too much access to those things, you know, to weapons. But the news, again, back to my point, is if you consuming all of this every day for X amount of time, it will have you panicking. It will have you thinking, my Lord, what is going on in the world? You see the current president of the United States, gas $5 a gallon, kids on takeovers. You know, I can't think. I mean, what's next? You know, they telling you that UFOs are here. Like, what's that? At the end of the day, for me, y'all, God got me. I ain't worried about none of this. I'm not. I ain't got no hair already. What do I look like giving two kumquats about any of this? Now, don't get it twisted. Don't come with no BS towards me or my loved ones. Don't disrespect. I don't tolerate that. And all that. If you coming with me, I'm gonna meet you with the same energy and let it be, let it be. That's how I approach it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not walking around stressing myself out about stuff I have no control over. None. I feel bad. I could empathize. I feel sorry for mothers who parents and fathers. Let's be clear. I feel bad for folks who lose somebody to violence. Soon, you know, that's crazy. Nobody should be losing no child to violence in America, but we live in America, you know, and I empathize. I feel bad about that, but I'm not. I ain't the 1, 2, or the 3, 4, 5. You know, like I just don't do it. Where I am in life, I am leaning so much into my faith. Now I got to do the work. So here's why this episode, you know, I don't know if that would be considered work. I don't know if I'm getting a grade on it, Lord, but you know, I want to do the work. I ain't got no problem doing the work. You know, I've had people tell me all the time, Jay, you should use your voice to spread the gospel, and I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet. But what I did say I could do is I could talk about what God is to me. That's all I could do. Because I'm not. I remember when I said I was going to be a teacher. When I went to college, I was going to be a history teacher, right? And I saw how bad them goddamn kids was. I said, I ain't trying to better these motherfuckers. I look trying to improve somebody else's child when the parents of the child don't give. How can I love, or this sounds crazy, but how can I care more about a child that's not mine in that way as a teacher more than the actual party who gave birth or brought that child in the world? You know, and I've got a lot of teaching professionals in my family, and I hats off to them. But when I figured out how hard it would be and how much money they paid teachers, especially when I was in college or coming out of college, there's no way I was going to do that. You know, I wasn't, you know, when I was younger, I wasn't cut like that.
Exactly.
Maybe now I might go back and, you know, but this is my way. It's not, and I don't want to teach. I don't want to profitize or profit. I can't even say the word. I got a big gap in my mouth. I don't want to do that. I want to tell you what God has done for me. And it's not even in a church setting, you know. It's not even in a, you know, I ain't got to be out. Well, I am out front in front of people. And I'm not here to convince you. I've had Agnostics, atheists to the left or to the right of me. One of my best friends from college is an atheist. I joke him all the time. I ain't gonna never stop trying to convince him to be a believer. I understand why he's atheist. He understands why he looks at me like I'm a dumb nuts.
Exactly.
And it does not bother me that he looks at me like I'm a numb nuts. But I'm good. I'm good in my faith. And I was not like this. Just to be clear, I was not like this. If you go back to episode 102 or 22 or 32, 42, I mean, I'm on this platform smoking some of the best medicinal weed the Commonwealth of Virginia could provide. I got a license for it. Drinking some of the finest spirits that I could have. Having fun with my friends. I'm 4-letter words left and right. I'm wilding on it. I'm wilding on this joint. And I go back and I do the edits. I see it. And sometimes I'm embarrassed, but I'm like, I'm gonna put that shit out because I was like a Ray J. I'm like, yo, somebody gonna watch that. Somebody is going to look at it and it's gonna go viral, and I'm gonna get some bread off. That's what I was. I wasn't doing it on purpose. I literally was not doing nothing on purpose. I'm trying to be the best genuine me that I can be. You know, I like doing it. I liked doing stand-up comedy, and now I like doing podcasts. I like talking to comedians. I like having fun with my friends on the podcast. I like making jokes. I like talking about the funny shit. You know, I like that, and I don't apologize for it. You know, I don't. What I do apologize for is if I offended some people because my language, I gotten better, but the words I used to say, you know, I could see how it could be offensive to some folks, and for that, I apologize for that. I don't, you know, I'm not proud of that. You know, I'm an intelligent black man. I know how to use proper words to describe how I'm feeling. But for comedic effect, that should be funny. To me, goddamn it. You know, let's get some of the comments here. Appreciate K. Say, speak your truth. I am. And then Taya laughing because she knows Taya's been around taking those shorts from the Green Room, Legacy Internet Radio, The Last Laugh. God, both versions of the Green Room, Taya. So you know how and Lissa could probably tell you. Lissa would cuss me out like, yo, you is wild and you can't. I remember I told the audience, I don't care if you watch, you cut it off if you want. She was like, why you don't want an audience? And I thought about that when I look back. I'm like, yeah, that makes no sense. Why am I doing this if I don't want an audience, right? I've grown, man. And I'm proud of my growth. To Kay's point where it says, speak your truth, I got some, because I was down, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I was down emotionally. I ain't gonna say I was depressed. I was just sad. You know, that my neighbors had that tragedy. I lost one of my childhood best friends, and I was sad. And I didn't, I understood. We ain't nobody short of Jesus Christ himself is coming back. You know, from nobody's cheating the unalive. You know, ain't nobody cheating that. Not even your boy, your guy, your man. Nobody. So I get that part. I do. But it don't, you know, I still feel, man. I still got feelings. I'm still a sensitive man. I'm still my mother's son. And it made me think about my mom. I put a post out early in the week, couple days ago, because it made me think about my mom, made me miss my mom. So let me tell y'all this. If you got either parent walking this planet today, April 24th, 2026, and you got one eye working where you can see me, or you got some hearing and you can hear me. They might be asleep if they old, but first thing in the morning, believe me when I tell you, pick up that phone. Don't send no text message. If you can go over there, go over there. But you better pick up that phone. You better call them. And you better let them know, hey, I was just thinking about you. Because, man, I wish I could do that. I would give anything just to hear my mama's voice. I got voice messages from my grandmother and text messages from my mom. I'm sure my sister got voice messages. My mom would call and, she would, hey, boy, But yeah, man, if you got your parents still with you, that is a blessing. If you our age is a Gen Xer, you dig?
Exactly.
And it don't take for nothing to pick up a phone. I told all of my kids, I don't care what you do. If I'm still around and I'm getting old, you better come check on me, goddamn it. You better come see about me. And they say, yeah, Dad, I got 3 sons. So, of course, we do. And the reason I putting that bug in their ear is because we at that stage. I'll be in a month, in a couple of weeks, I'll be fifth and fifth. And I've seen what happens to the elderly when they get medical care, when they live in so-called independent living facilities and nursing homes and stuff like that. It's a quick sad story, not to be putting everybody down with the sadness, but I was at this place where my mom was kicking out of a coma, and they took her to this step-down unit, and it was just such a sad place. I don't know if y'all watched the movie, the show, forgot what it's called, on Apple TV. Severance. It looked like that building in Severance. It was isolated. It looked like it was nothing around it. It was an office building, but it was isolated. Nothing around it. You see an office building, you usually see other buildings and traffic and businesses that support that office or whatever. None of this, where this place was. So it was a mystery. And my sister was like, Sean was like, yo, I don't like this shit. I'm like, let's see what's going on. We walk in, and it looks like a normal hospital, looks like a normal facility. Then we get mom into her room, and she had to share a room. And there was this lady who was on a ventilator, and she was by herself. Nobody was with her. The nurse come in. I asked the nurse, I said, yo, where her people's at? They live in, like, I think she said, like, Georgia or New Jersey. And they left. This is their loved one, they family member. They left her in Virginia. Like, nobody could get to her in a quick amount of time or whatever. And like, she was by herself, man. She was by herself. And my sister called me that night, said, we're going to get my she called me at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning. She say, and there are always people, I don't call it it's a shining. I'll call it the shining.
Exactly.
There's always people in your family that's got a connection. Like, I don't call it hoodoo, voodoo. I don't do none of that. I just say they get these feelings. It's like something ain't right about that person. Something ain't right about this situation. When they say, well, there's that one person, and they can't use, not everybody got that talent. You dig? Not everybody like that. But my sister, she my younger sister, but she's still my sister. If she say, I don't like that, bet the fucking farm on it. I'm sorry for cursing, Lord. He's still working over your dick.
Exactly.
It usually turned out to be true. 99.9 times out of 10. She called me at 3 a.m. She say, "Cause you close to the facility, meet me there. We going to get her. She coming up out of there." Cause that if we would have left my mom in that place, who knows? Who knows? And what based on that decision, my sister, God gave us 3 more years with my mom because of that. 3.5 more years because of that. I love you, sister.
That nigga's tripping.
So tell you the one in your family. Tell say, I'm like that. I be knowing. When you go to the club and be like, girl. Some niggas, some fitting to go down. I'm out. I go with them. I go with them. Faith. So with the faith, I had ran into this issue I've been having after I got through my sadness, after I had the ups of seeing some of the feedback I got from some of the podcasts that came out this month. I was so proud. I was so grateful. I thanked my guests, and I heard some positive feedback. I was like, finally, I'm getting some type of validation for this hard. This is just me, guys. It ain't nobody on the other side of that camera. Ain't nothing over there. It's just me. I put this thing together, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna say that. Give myself a round of applause. Shit. Hold on, let me get it. God damn it. I got to big up myself. And some people, it's just sometimes you need, and I give value. I can see being on this side of the podcast, the content creation thing, or artist or creative space. I see what I want to give. Hey, I see what you're doing type vibes. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like blowing up nobody's spot. It's not it's not sucking them off or whatever. It's none of that, because people work hard to create content. People work hard to entertain. People work hard to make things funny, to be a comedian or whatever. People work hard. The thing is, they work so hard it looks easy to you.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I can't leave my board alone. I love it. So when you see people, and I'm just going to talk about local artists, or I'm slouching in my chair, but I'll say other artists, your Kevin Hart's, your whoever is your favorite actor or your favorite comedian. They work hard for that shit, man. That shit that they didn't do that just for, and so their validation is you going to see them in their bank account. And so in the beginning, when I said I don't care if you watch or not, when I was doing earlier versions of a podcast, I don't know why, but I didn't need validation. I didn't. I was good. I think it was because I was doing stand-up and podcasting at the same time. So I knew if I sucked at one, I can go into the other. Then I found out I wasn't that far. I was lazy at stand-up. And so I ended up here in the podcasting game. And I still work. I mean, it's not hard work, because it's not work if you love doing it, if you like doing it. When I'm setting up, I'm happy. When I'm putting up the camera and the lights and putting on my suit and shit, nigga, I'm vibing. Like, I'm ready to roll something. I'm ready to smoke something. I'm ready to do. I'm Gucci, my nigga. Like, I'm all right. But after a while, I have to grow, and I had grown, And when I'm growing, I want to, when I see myself changing with growth, it's good sometimes for folks to not say, hey, I want to see you do that sucker shit. As opposed to when my homeboy, he said, man, I see what you're doing. You the podcast is the content is a lot more tighter. That's stuff that I need to hear. You know, ladies can probably understand. I got a big female base. That's because the social media said that, honey. My wife is so over there, but she's not in the studio. But I just want to say, like, so it's like 55, 45 women, men. And so every once in a while, a grown woman don't need she don't get all dressed up or put on makeup or get her hair done to hear brother cat call her or say something nice about her, you know, because she got it already within. But every once in a while, you want that compliment. Don't lie. Y'all can get it. Now I'm gonna see if y'all getting these comments. Every once in a while, you want that comment to be like, oh, your shoes look nice today, or your hair look nice today. Some random shit. And that kind of be like, I knew I wasn't tripping. Like, that's what it feels like. So I'm just trying to I'm trying to equate it for y'all. Like, it's like, I know I'm not tripping. Like, I know I'm on to something with the podcast, but I see it going up now. I'm feeling down. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. Y'all, for real, I do not know sometimes. And all I was I was looking for, but I'm a man. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and ask y'all to, short of saying, hey, like, share, subscribe. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, yo, can y'all confirm if I'm doing something right or wrong with the podcast? Maybe I need to do that. Y'all let me know. I'll take some criticism. You know, I be held accountable. I mean, I got homeboys around me all the time to be like, yo, you was wild for that. You said you shouldn't have said that. So yeah, if there's something y'all see in the background, I know the lighting might be off. Y'all see anything about this that got some corrective criticism, I'm open up to it. Be respectful, because if you come saying some wicked shit, I won't trust and believe. I will say some wicked shit back at you. You know, I think I'm cussing a little bit more, so I need to put that wine bottle down. Faith. Let me get back to my faith before I have communion up in this something. I got tested with the podcast because I had, how can I say this? Because let me first say this. I want people that F with me to F with me, how they say, like you say you do. If you say it, then prove it. Like, if I got faith, right? If I got faith in me and I got faith in my God to sustain me, I got to show it. I can't just say it. I can't every once in a while bust it out. I got to live it. You know, I got to walk in it. I can't, I don't, man, I'm telling you, some shit was revealed to me. And so I'm doing the work off camera, right? Like, I'm trying to network, get back into the arts or the creative scene here in Virginia, DMV, Richmond, and so I can give you compelling conversations with those people, with comedians. And that's why in April, you know, I had the comedians that I had on, and we had very great conversation. It might even just been on some comedian stuff, but eventually, because I've become a better host, I can parlay that into stuff that can cross over to the audience that I can bring. They have a good time. They open up themselves to a bigger audience because they want folks to come to their shows. And then in turn, I get to the content that I like for my podcast or my content to grow. It's a win-win for all parties, I thought, right?
Exactly.
A bullshit?
But no.
A bullshit?
But no.
A bullshit.
But no. Because there's some sucker bitch ass niggas out here, you dig? I'm sorry, did I say that all in one? I did. And I might be jumping the gun. All right, there's a way I could do this. There's a way I can do this without running down people. I am genuinely in this space. Okay? Just like I know stand-up comedians that are genuinely in that space. They don't want to do nothing else but go work on their stuff 7 days a week. And if they got a job, when they not working their job, they doing stand-up comedy. And I congratulate them for that. Hold on, let me give a round of applause, goddamn it. If you out here grinding like that, who am I to say that? Matter of fact, I approach somebody and say, do you have representation? Because that's out of respect. That's saying I'm saying to myself, that person is so talented, there's no way I could just walk up to them and be like, come on the podcast. That professionally, if you got representation, you're supposed to go to their agent and say, hey, I do a podcast. I want to have your client on my podcast. Let's talk. That's the right way to do it. And that's how I want to go about stuff. I do. But then when you working with the janky, I forgot the movie with Epps and janky promoters and unscrupulous characters, and because it's show business, you're going to run into people like that. People who are not genuine. They not straight up. They'll say something to you one way and then end up acting or doing something in another. And that I had space for that when I was in the stand-up game back in the early 2010s. I would let motherfuckers say, yeah, we'll work together. And I'd be like, great. And we never end up working together. And I never thought anything about it. I didn't pay any attention to it. We never shared stages together. I never shared, we never were writing partners, or I don't know what to say, but I didn't care. I didn't feel no kind of way. Maybe I need to feel like that again, because I've reached out to folks and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just miscommunication on my part. And I'm really trying hard not to sound like I'm running folks down. But I felt some kind of way because I care about what I do. So it's really not anything about those people. It's just like me. Like, why would you? What about me make you feel like you could try to carry me like that? Like, fuck, no, I'm not. No. So in my mind, I am elevating. I'm going to tell myself I am going to elevate my platform and myself to where I will make folks want to be on Taking No Shorts. It'll be a destination instead of me asking for guests, which I understand because I'm a beginning podcast or a beginning brand. I got to ask for guests, and if they don't come, they don't come. But if you come, or better yet, if you tell me you're going to come, and then shit gets wonky, that's
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
That's where I got to be the bigger person and be like, okay, how do I? Because what I first did was why are they doing that to me? Have y'all ever had somebody? And don't get me wrong, this is not an egregious thing. Like, it's just me asking folks to, come on the pod. They tell me one thing and then end up doing another. But have y'all ever had somebody tell y'all one thing, end up doing something different after they done told you to your face? Don't you say, like, what part of me make you think you can? You feel me? Who told you you could? Okay, all right. That's all I can say. And keep it moving, keep it pushing. That just says more. I mean, is it saying? I don't want y'all to hit me in the comments for real. Is it saying something about me that I'm bringing that up? Because it was inside of me when it was brought to me. It's like, what? Why do you think I would be that type of person you could pull that off to? I'm a commitment and an accountable person. You say something to me, I am going to do it. And if I don't, I'm going to pick up the phone and call you and tell you, because I did that. Shout out to all the brothers at the last run. They hit me up, and it was just a timing thing. But what I did was, and the last run is a short film that's coming out pretty soon. Some of it was out back in 2023 on YouTube or Tubi, but it'll be out, and I had a bit part in it. And they reached back out to me because they redoing another part of it. And timing wise, I didn't commit. I committed because I said yes. Jesus, don't be a hypocrite. Let me be truthful to you guys. To be fair, it was last minute, and I said yes. And then something came up, family wise. This is like I had to do something with my family, and I had to call. It's like, yo, I'm not gonna be able to make the shoot. I gotta do something with my family. That is a straight shoot. Shoot means it's a wrestling term, meaning it's for real. That's different. And the folks that have told me that, have told me that it was like, yo, stuff comes up. I always tell guests, life happens. Just pick up the phone and call me and tell me. Don't make me have to run you down. I'm not chasing guests no more.
Exactly.
I'm not chasing guests. You want to be down with me, be down with me. Period. End of story. Otherwise, I can do this shit all by my goddamn self because I'm talented like that. You heard? And that's not bragging if it's real. All right, I got that out of my system. Next thing I wanted to talk about was these young motherfuckers out here. Okay.
A bullshit? A bullshit?
So
a bullshit.
It came across my algorithm, and I never heard of this term, right? It's a term called gooning. GOONING. I'm going to share it with you in just a second so you'll know what I'm talking about. There it is, right there. Gooning. And I think I saw it on CNN, and then I saw it on CNN, and then I saw it same day on another platform or a couple of platforms, which means that they want you to know, the media or social media, wants you to know what gooning is, right? So I said, I know what gooning is. If you ever remember the movie called The Goonies, 1985, action adventure for kids, that's what Goonies was. So I'm like, what is gooning? It's the Goonies. That's the group of kids that went into this adventure of fairyland and head sloth and all that. That's what that is. No, 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 no.
I'm 40.
And plus, no, 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 no. This is a Gen Z thing, a younger generation thing that's going on. And that's so much better if I could get my microphone up. Hold on, guys. Yeah, okay, that's better. So let me just read the definition I got here. Gooning is an internet slang term for, quote, this is highlighted here, for engaging in sexual stimulation or masturbation for an extended, often hypnotic period of time. And here's the catch: without reaching orgasm.
A bullshit?
Or release. That's what the young folk call it, release. It is a form of deep edging. Edging is another word that we definitely didn't have growing up, that I get it, but designed to maintain a prolonged state of intense arousal and euphoria, often involving, but not limited to, heavy use of adult entertainment. Okay, so I've read that for you guys. It's called gooning. If you want to, you can look it up, but I'm going to talk about it. I got to take, and I ain't going to take no shorts. What in the fuck is wrong with these young folk today? What is it? I got my understanding about it. Yeah, never heard of it, Taya? Yeah, look it up. Yeah, she say, oh, hell no. Look it up. What? All right, so I saw the news, and then I also seen and read articles, because I had to know before I come on here and talk about some, especially when it comes to the young people, being that I look like Uncle from the church, and I'm talking about my faith and everything, and it's weird in 2026 to do that. Let me say this. Here's my take. These young folks, like I said, grew up with a television in their hand. I grew up, and I alluded to it earlier, I grew up and having to sneak the Playboy channel, if your parents had that, if you had cable back in the 80s, or going to the magazine section, seeing stuff, adult material there. But these kids growing up in the early 2000s, 2010s, because if a child is born in 2010, they 16 years old now. So they grew up with the iPhone, whatever the iPhone was in 2010. If they had one, or if their parents got them one, with no guardrails on it, And they are exposed to the world. I mean, when I say the world, I know I sound stupid. They are exposed to everything, and people have access to them. Sexting. I remember when my kids were in school graduating. They graduated in 2010s. They're young adults now. Sexting was a thing, and I, as a parent, you do your do. I raised men, so they were all young boys, young teenage boys. And when having conversations as a dad about that, my sons was always like, yeah, Dad, it's just crazy. Like, we don't even, they described to me the reason why they not wilding like I was. Well, I wasn't even wilding until I got to college, but the reason why we not wilding is because the scene, the girls, everybody wilding, and it's just a cesspool. And I equate it to when I'm gonna clip this. I equate it to when I tried to watch the HBO series Euphoria. I think about during COVID, I think. All right, I want to say 2021, 2022, right after COVID or whatever. I never watched it when it premiered. I started watching it after the fact because I just wanted to see what the buzz was about. And I saw it because Zendaya, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, your name correctly, was in Spider-Man, and I'm a Spider-Man guy or a comic book guy, so I was watching the movie. So then that's how it got me to watching Euphoria. And some of the shit I saw in that, I couldn't stomach it. It was shocking. If that's the mirror of the young people, what young people are doing in America, pre-COVID, post-COVID, it don't matter. I won't. I mean, I'm sure there was that going on when we was coming up because we grew up in the crack era, but not everybody was trying crack. Like especially teenagers. These nutcases gonna be running politics when we get old. Yeah, I know. Well, that's true. That's true. If they got the power or if they got the ambition, the thing is, Taya, that's if we. I can't. I have no. I have no counterpoint to that. You have a strong case to say that these young numbnuts might be running the politics when we get old. Hopefully, we'll have some type of awakening. We'll have some type of political awakening, and that won't happen. But Euphoria, which is now out, I think season 2 or 3 on HBO Max or something like that. My microphone keep falling, and it's gonna fall even further, but it don't matter. I don't. It's an hour and 11 minutes into the pod now, so I don't care now. I'm almost finished my glass of wine, my one glass of wine. That's how I'm trying to improve on mine. Anyway, this edging or this gooning. So the young boys, young men, this is why ain't nobody having no babies no more, or the birth rate. The birth rate is falling, but the age when boys and girls, and this is coming from a teenage parent, okay? So so you got to take this, I will say, in full disclosure, I was a teenage parent, responsible teenage parent, and was and all that. Like, I wasn't an absentee dad or anything like that, but when we was coming up, we was getting it, and there's nothing to say for that. That's a lot in the late 80s, early 90s, but we was getting it. But these young folks are waiting later on in life to have their first intimate experience, and that is scientifically, they're saying that's playing into the fact that folks are not getting married, folks are not having children. And I saw a stat about Japan, like their birth rate is falling off of a cliff. They can't pay people to have babies in Japan. Can you believe that? Like, if the government was to tell you, we finna give you at the end when you file your when you get your W-2 or you go to TurboTax or whatever, I'm plugging TurboTax. Hey, if you want to be a sponsor, I'll put my email at the bottom of the camera. But imagine the government saying, hey, if you want to have children, we'll give you X amount of dollars for each baby you got, and you still don't have kids. What kind of society is that? Back to this gooning shit here. Hold on. Let me go back to that. Engaging in sexual stimulation or masturbation. Okay. If you're a I'm trying to think. Hold on. This is a little too personal, but bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. When did I first jerk off?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I want to say 11 or 12. I'm going to say 11 and a half. No, it was 6th grade. So I'm going to say 12. All right, 12 years old, right? 12 years old, Jay Grizzy, going with his mom to the laundromat just so he could sneak peek at the magazine stand to see the girly magazines. That's what I was doing at 12. And wasn't no prolonging, bro. You did. It wasn't. There was. Now, I know that the young generation is seeing this content when this content come out and be like, you're just a old man who don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to have a retort to that. But back to my story, or my true story. Like, there's no prolonging a 12-year-old when you could see Apollonia Sheila E. Vanity. Pick your Sheeta Easton, pick your 80s pinup chick. The equivalent to what they got on their phones now. What is the prolonged thing for an intense? It's all right. So let me pull it back up. I'm sorry, guys. These allergies are kicking my ass. Often hypnotic. What's that make me want to try it now? What's hypnotic about? For an extended, often hypnotic period of time. How long? Somebody, I know, want to get one of these young Gen Zs in these comments. How long is y'all whacking on for this hypnotic effect to take place? Because I ain't never jacked off and felt like I was in a hypnotic state.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
There ain't no woman involved. Ain't no woman there to help me. You got to be kidding me. You got to be shitting me. I'm that old. I know I got gray, but I'm that old. Hypnotic period of time until reaching orgasm or release. When I read the article, y'all, they said these young men, these young boys, is doing this for hours. Who got hours to do this? Young boys, of course. These young boys. Something is wrong. Something is wrong, y'all. Something is wrong. Oh, Lord is correct. Tell. Oh, Lord is correct. These young boys are on their phones, on their laptops, on their devices, whacking off for as long as they can to get some type of what I presume is a nut, to be fair, to keep it a bean to everybody. But because they fucking around, they saying that it's more intense and hypnotic, which is enticing. I can see why if I'm a 13-year-old, I want to do that. But where is the other party? Whether it's I ain't gonna do the LGBTQ. Where is the other motherfucker at? You dig? You got to interact with people. You can't just lock yourself in a room and jack off all day. You got to come out. That's how y'all end up being like cuckoo. And that's not putting down that, but that's sick. I was trying to be nice with it, Tail, but yeah. That's how you end up with mental illness. You have you have socially walled yourself off from regular life. And this thing has got you literally by the balls. Literally. I do the content, right. I'm doing the content right now that you would watch it on. But my content, I hope you're not jacking off for an extended period of time for hypnotic effect. They got regular drugs for that, but nigga, like, why are you doing that? Why? And then it creates, I think, like this this what's the word I want to use? Like, we don't need women type shit, because all we want to do is sit in the basement of our parents' house, play video games, and jerk off with a robot or some AI shit, and then you project your inadequacies on the rest of the world. That's how we end up with the president of the United States or supporters of the president of the United States.
Exactly.
Because that's all they are. Y'all can't have a fucking conversation. Y'all get weirded out when somebody says good morning to you. When I go to work sometimes and I'm at the coffee maker and I say good morning, motherfuckers don't even know how to say good morning back. They don't even know how to. And it's a human personal connection because they're too busy plugged into their computers, plugged into their devices, heads down, got hunches in their neck type shit. That's very concerning. And it ain't they don't pay me and I don't get paid to find out what the answers is. But as a commentator and running my own podcast, I could tell you that is
bullshit.
Yes, it is.
A bullshit.
Yes, it is.
A bullshit.
And y'all need to fix that. Y'all need to come about that shit. Somebody need to whoop y'all ass. So now it brings me, I'm going to parlay a segue into what that type of culture, especially to these, we know who it is that's doing this. Because we out here shooting bang bang. Like young bros are like the young niggas is out here wilding. They ain't sitting in their house in the hood beating off. Like, we know who doing it. But speaking of that, let me put you on to something else that came across my eyes, my algorithm with that. Let me remove that and get the next slide up here, please. Boom. So this article is from CNN. I don't think y'all can see if it says CNN, but yeah, it says here CNN article right there, and it's a slideshow on their website. But there is a secret. I'm using air quotes, but there is a secret subculture online. I'm just describing it. I'll read you the CNN headline and then I'll just tell you because it's kind of disturbing. It's not kinda. It is very disturbing to me. To the point where I wanted to talk about it on my platform. CNN has an Equals, which is news. Equals is a news thread that the news series they're talking about for equality between the sexes. So CNN exposing a global, they put it in quotes. I'm not even going to say it. In a shocking group chat, men encourage one another to drug and assault their wives and swap tips on getting away with it. That's what it says. I'll go back up to the top. This is the article. What they're doing is, let me put it in layman's terms. There are a bunch of weirdos in the world. Let me get rid of this shit because I don't even want. Yeah, I don't want that up more than it has to be. There are a bunch of weirdo men who like to prolong for some type of hypnotic effect, or don't know how to talk to a lady or a young girl or a young woman respectfully. Court. There's a bunch of dweebs, a bunch of losers, and these are the same cats that listen to Rogan and listen to Tucker Carlson and listen to, and think that they quote unquote men and want what they call a trad wife. Fuck out of here. Y'all are a bunch of suckers. Anyway, these men, these so-called men, have this online community where they trade secrets on how to roofie their spouses, their wives, and then they tape them assaulting their wife and share it with these people. What kind of sick mess is that? Just psychologically, I'm sitting there saying to myself, as a man, like, why do I like I've taken my wife out and we party. When I say party, we like to party when we was partying, you know. But I would never abuse that. You know, she trusts me to protect her when, you know, she trusts me to protect her when we in those situations from other people. Like, I'm her protector. So what is you doing creating, and honestly, these are this one of them they used because they infiltrated it to get the article. So this was in Europe. Who are Europeans, ladies and gentlemen?
Exactly.
European men, American men, Western men. What is going on? They devils. Evil, evil, evil. Now, I talked about earlier in the podcast about if you stay on these platforms, whether it's the news, whether it's your cell phone, your news feed, your traditional news, whatever, you're fitting to come across some wicked, wicked shit. And this is the stuff that I came across this week on some wickedness. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. What is going on? And I say, well, God got me, you know, in minds, you did. And my faith requires when I lean into my faith, I feel good about my relationship. For humanity, though, I don't know. For them, and that's a them thing, because I don't know nobody that look like me that's out here roofing or giving drugs to their spouse, recording abuse and sharing it with other people that look like them. Don't nobody do that shit where I come from. Don't nobody go, like I said earlier, and call it gooning. Where have I been the last 25 years? What have I missed? Can somebody please tell me what the fuck have I missed? Because this is wicked, man. This is wicked. And I don't mean to be alarmist or scare people or anything like that. Because I like I said, I've raised 3 men, 3 black men, and I know none of them carry themselves in that manner. None of them. And if anybody in my family, if I found out any of my family was carrying themselves in that manner, they would be dealt with too sweet. You did? All I'm saying is that once this technology got out here, once this AI is gonna get out, it's already out here, but it's probably gonna get worse before it get better. And I don't worry about it because, again, God got me. I just pray for. I could pray. There's nothing wrong for me empathizing and praying for the world. I pray for the world. I don't worry. I pray. I pray that none of the women I know come across these sick people, and y'all protect yourself. The best way y'all can. You know, I'm a feminist. You heard? Like, I'm a total feminist. Because some men in the world have lost their ever loving mind. Because
I'm a man. I'm 40.
yeah, that's what I would say. Last but not least, I'm gonna real quickly talk about WrestleMania there, and I'm gonna keep going because it's not much to talk about. I'm not, anything like I was telling somebody when it came to sports, gambling, sports betting has turned me off. I'm old. I guess I'm old now. I'm sports betting has turned me off. The NFL draft is tonight or the other night, and I wasn't. I mean, when my team picked, what? I'm not letting nothing get my blood pressure up no more. That's especially sports. My Knicks came back and got shafted. Pause. Got lost in Atlanta the other night. I can't get up, but I can't let nothing get my blood pressure up no more. Health wise or for my peace, for my sanity. I used to be that guy. I used to be Yosemite Sam, two weapons blazing, rootinest, tootinest. I used to be that guy. Ask anybody that know me. I was a pune nigga. I put pad on my hands, I smack you in a minute. And run behind the big nigga, say shoot him. That was me. I can't do that no more. I don't want to do that no more. It ain't in me no more. And I don't want it in me no more. Those days are long gone, thank God. Whew. What was I doing that for anyway? Just trying to puff myself up like I'm a big man. Hey, not doing none of that. Grow. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, I will wrap up episode 138 of Taking No Shorts podcast. Again, thanks everybody that was in the chat. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Taya. Thank you. Let me give my homeboy a shout out because he's a homeboy now on Taking No Shorts podcast. He didn't leave no comment, but he said when I say, hey man, his name's Jerome. He got the same name as me. Same first letter. Jermaine is my real name, Jerome. So that's the first time you heard me say my real name on the air. But thank you, ZJ. I appreciate you checking us out, man. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Kay. For everybody else, I appreciate it. You always got a chance next time. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, share this podcast, share the content. Let me know if there's anything I can improve on, anything you like. I'll take the feedback. Don't be scared as long as it's respectful, guys. As long as it's respectful. Peace and love to everybody. I'll see y'all down the road. Until next time, bye-bye.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.